How many of you ever searched for something on your phone? Anybody? Okay, perfect. Placing or claiming your business on Google allows you to show up on people's phones and PDAs and other devices. If you don't claim it, you won't show up on those devices. So it's really important that we claim it. We talked about that. This is kind of cool. I mean, this is where we get into Google+. Now, how many of you ever logged into or used a Google+ profile? Okay, good. So, have you completed your Google+ profile? Do you have more than just the Google little little avatar that's in there? Yes, good. So, here is a good place where you can actually connect with your customers, because if you've created your business listing, then what happens is you've created a page for your business, and then you can put in here things like you can post updates about your business, photos about that are going on with your business, especially people like yourself and talking about the events that you do. Sorry, I'm horrible with names, so I'm just going to point to you guys, so I apologize. But photos, obviously, images speak 1,000 words, right? But then the big one that we want to talk about real quickly is, let's see this right here, this next page. So responding to customer feedback. So you said you've got 2 clients in here, right? And you've got other people that you're already working with. You need to tell them to go and write a review as soon as possible, okay? Because these reviews and your rank and reviews is the first thing that shows up when someone searches for you on that map, right? That's the first thing they're going to see. They're going to see your business name, then they're going to see a review. And they're going to see how many stars you have and those kinds of things, and they're going to look at those reviews. And so, obviously, you're going to have these Google's reviews, you have Yelp reviews. Oh, it's ridiculous how many reviews we have. And just a side note, if you're using Yelp, if you ever use Yelp, don't ever send your customers a link to go and write a review for you on Yelp. They have to go organically, and they have to go in and search for your business on Yelp and write a review that way. If they take a link and they go and they fill out a review that you sent them based on that link, Yelp will immediately discredit it and remove it. And so, just something we've had to learn painfully the hard way. But Yelp is very, very careful about those kind of things. Google, on the other hand, you can have everybody that you know and send all your friends and everybody you can to come write a good review about you. Good, bad, or negative, whatever you want to do. But reviews is huge, and that's a big reason why you want to go through that claiming process. Yes, please.
Just don't write a review about yourself.
Yes, please don't write a review about yourself. Create a fake account, create a fake Gmail account, do something. Just don't write it about yourself, because people will see that and they'll automatically, immediately judge you right away for that, right? Just because you know you're awesome, you don't. All right, let's see. There's a lot of other technology elements that getting your Google Places set up can benefit you if you want to do like videos or different webinars or things with people. You can do what they call on Google, they call them Hangouts. Let's see. And then the other thing I wanted to show you real quick was, we talked about starting a conversation, videos, finding people. Okay, perfect. Another thing is that you can manage Google your Google Places account from your desktop or your device, your iPhone, your laptop, your iPad, whatever it is. So don't be afraid that just because you set it up on your desktop or whatever, you have to manage it from your desktop. There's a lot of ways to manage your Google Places account. Now, let's look at getting on Google. So, first of all, let's look at somebody who has a business. Give me a business name, anybody's business that's claimed.
Price Arrow.
What is it?
Price, A-E-R-O.
Okay.
See if it works.
Price, A-R-O. Like that?
One word.
Okay.
I've never gone on Google, so.
Okay, that's all right. That's good. This is why we're doing this. Let's do Eagle
I
Map.
have a website called .com, pricearrow.com.
Okay. So here what we found is that Google doesn't have a listing for Price Arrow. Okay. So what you would do is you would come through here, and they tried to make it as simple as possible. You'd scroll down and fill in the blanks of your information, indicate, this is where we were talking about where do you deliver goods or services to your customer at their location, or is it, do they come to you, right? So in this case, you take them to them, right? They don't come to your office.
You meet them at the airport.
Yeah, but it's not that they come to an office or a building and buy it from you, right? And so you fill in this, and then once you hit continue, the next step would be to ask what's your coverage area or what area do you serve. And don't stress as much about service area if what you're trying to do is just locate your business in this area. Don't worry about trying to say, well, I covered 10,000 miles or 100,000 miles. The idea is to make it so that when somebody searches for you in Eagle Mountain, you show up, right? Let's go do another business. Let's see. Who else has claimed?
Eagle Mountain Counseling?
Okay, let's do it. Eagle Mountain.
Where?
Do we have it on here? Did I spell it right?
It might be actually, I think I still have this one just called my name.
Oh, okay.
So it's Darren J. Gillespie, probably what it is.
Spell your last name for me.
Gillespie with Darren with an E in it.
Oh, sorry. Ooh, I think I saw it.
Right there.
Right there.
I guess I have two.
So, right now, the only thing it has you registered under is this one, and then there's nothing else right now.
Yeah. Okay, I think it should just be the one.
But you said you just got your postcard, right?
No, it's just months ago.
Oh, really?
But it took a while first.
Okay. So maybe what you might want to do is, so basically this doesn't match your business, so maybe try adding your business one more time and seeing if maybe it's just missing something. Even if it is. You've claimed it, or you've maybe you claimed it under a different name. Claim it, get the right name in there, and claim it again.
Put the different name.
Yeah. Another side note: as you're claiming these, you're going to be logged into, or you're going to need to log into Google, and you're going to need to have a Google account. If you're planning to ever let anyone else be in charge of the marketing for your business, make sure that the Google account that's controlling this business listing is a neutral account. Don't make this your personal Gmail account or something that anybody who comes in here can see your personal Gmail or emails and things like that. You're going to want to make a separate one. So we often do just the business name at Gmail or whatever as their marketing account. So
So is this different than just a Google Places?
yeah, it's
search?
all been brought together under
'Cause
one.
If you search it, I'll come up.
Okay, good. Let's see that.
So I don't know.
Let's see what happens here. So under Darren or under
Eagle Mountain.
Eagle Mountain?
You just search.
Let's see.
Right there.
Okay. Right here.
Mhm.
So Eagle Mountain Therapy.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess the actual site is therapy.
Oops.
Yeah, that looks like someone I know.
Nice. Good. So then you own that site, right? Or you own this. You've claimed it.
Mhm.
Okay. You got 140. So definitely get some reviews in there because that's going to make a big difference if
I
you
didn't
can.
really ever think to do that.
No, that's okay. That's all right. That's why we're here. And obviously, with your situation, reviews are going to be a little more challenging. Confidentiality, things like that. But if you can get reviews from people and people who've had positive experience, that's great. You're not like a drug and alcohol counselor, so it's a little bit easier situation. We have a drug testing company in Texas that people are always telling they need reviews, and it's like, who's going to say, yay, it's my baby, or yeah, I'm drug free? It's just not really common reviews type of thing, right? So you have to think about your business, and you have to think the relevancy of your business, and does it really warrant reviews, or is a reviews going to really carry in something like this? And so, okay, let's look at another one. Who else has claimed theirs?
Well, Thunder DJ.
What is it?
Thunder
Thunder DJ?
DJing.
Oh, okay. Is it set 2 words?
Yep.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay, so obviously we don't see it on the maps, right? So what we want to do is look at, going back to our, I forgot what it's called. That's it, right? Okay, so this is what happens if I try to go in and I try to claim a site that's already owned by somebody. It says, hey, this site's been verified. You're going to run into this on occasion in the event that maybe somebody claimed it for you or claimed something that's similar to yours. And so you want to request admin rights. You want to try to contact Google. It'll kind of takes you down a trail of things that you need to do to get in touch with Google and figure out how do you get control of that again. It could be as simple as just maybe you used a different email address back then and now you can't remember which one it was. And so you want to find out what you can from Google so that you can get this information and get yourself claimed again and get control of that domain. Okay, so let's look at, so we're on Lamont's Google Plus page. Lamont, we're going to see what your how your Google Plus page looks. So this is Lamont's personal page, right?
Right.
And but if we go to a business page, so this is our business page. So we have just a big picture of us, and then our address, and you want to get as much information as possible on your site. And then you see this little check mark is basically shows you've got everything done, you've got what you need to. There's a last step that Google has you do where you actually post a snippet of code on your website. And this is just one more reminder, one more connection that Google needs in order to say, okay, this is a legitimate business, it's owned by you, you have control of it. There's just a number of steps that you're going to go through that way to make sure you get verified. Let's see. And then again, you can come down and you can, like, ours is, in terms of engagement, ours is just as limited as our own website. And so we don't have a lot of like reviews or things like that. But this is where your people are going to find you, and they're going to be able to see information, learn more about you and what your business is doing. There's also a very valuable connection that comes to search engines. If your Google Plus page is created and it's connected, and whoever is doing your website has connected what they call authorship to your website. Authorship is very valuable if you plan to write any content of your own. We have an attorney, we have an accountant, and we have a, what's the other one? Oh, she runs a salon, a very unique type of salon up in North Ogden. Anyways, and they write unique content about their industry, right? Most of it is stuff that they've just kind of taken themselves and they've repurposed or whatever. But when you create your Google Plus page, both personally and your business, and you connect those, then any content you publish, like through a blog or unique social media content, when people search for that content or search for anything relevant to that content, it's not just a link that shows up, it's a picture of you and a link. So it's one more added element that makes you stronger on Google search. So everybody's seeing a list of links, and then all of a sudden there's one picture of somebody, and it's you because you're more verified, you're more accurate. And again, it's Google doing their best to try to give each of us as users valid, relevant content. Right? That's what Google's all about. So
that's just like in the settings. I did that once for my blog in one of my classes. But it's on Google's settings, right? The authorship where you.
Yes, that's where you can
type
get the
your
information
website.
for it and what you need to do to connect the two.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's a little tricky. Like, I mean, again, you want your get your website connected to it, because if your website posts the blog, Google wants to know that website is actually connected to you, and that's why you want to connect this page to your website so they know that the two
Like
are
if
connected.
you guys had a blog or something.
Yes, exactly,
You would connect.
exactly. So, so that's
So
it.
you would just randomly connect all of your personal stuff to your business? Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
Would you connect all of your,
No, you can only connect one account. So you can connect one account that's primarily used to write content or things like that through the authorship section. And so,
Okay, you have to pick one.
yeah, you only can pick one account. So Google gets a little tricky, a little careful that way. So that's kind of a 10,000 foot view of Google Business Listings, Google Plus, and the value of it. I don't want to take you guys. I could keep you here all night long, and we could go through all the different things that this involves. But the most important thing is to go to google.com/business and just start the process of claiming your business. Did you have a question?
I do, I'm
Yeah.
still trying to get the 20,000 foot view.
No, I understand.
Okay, if you have a website,
Uh-huh.
why do you need this if you publish your website and if you get on Google search and search for, in my case, Price Arrow, it's gonna come up as a website.
Right.
And so why do I need this? And how many other media are there like this that we should also be in? I mean,
Right.
Facebook
There-
and Twitter and
so many of
LinkedIn
them,
and
right.
all these things, yeah. So why choose Google, and what does Google give you that a website presence doesn't give?
Excellent. Okay, so there's 3 questions in there. First, why be here? Right? Second, which places do you need to be? And third, why be here over someplace else? Right?
Okay.
Okay, so first question, why have a presence here and be listed here? For someone like yourself, it's not going to provide as much value. It'll still provide value, but not as much value as somebody who has a local business and is trying to serve local people.
Well, my Price Arrow Services is local.
Okay, but not only local, right?
Yeah, it's what the.
Well, no, so you're right, Price Arrow, the
License,
trucking thing,
Price
I
Arrow.
keep mixing the
Forget
two up, I'm
trucking.
sorry.
Okay.
So
So,
Price
yeah,
Arrow.
no, I serve Utah.
Yes, so Price Arrow definitely would benefit from this, because if I'm looking for instruction on how to fly, what did you call
Power
them?
parachutes.
Power
yeah,
parachute,
ultralights, yeah.
Which is cool because it's a very niche type of market, right? If I'm going to search for power parachute, I want to show up, right?
Mhm.
Who owns the biggest search engine in the world?
Google.
Google, right? So what we have to do, unfortunately, is play by Google's rules. And what Google says is, we want you as a business to have a presence. We want you to have a presence. Mainly it's, we always joke because I think Google's just really mad because Facebook's so big, and so like, we want to be big too, so we're going to force everybody to be on our social media. But the thing is we want to be here because then when someone searches for that business or that type of business, people aren't going to search for Price Arrow, they're going to search for the service you offer, right? And so we want you to rank well, and we want you to rank and show up on the maps. So if I'm looking for you on a phone, or I'm looking for you even on my desktop, I see, oh, he's right here in Eagle Mountain. I can see exactly where he's at. If you don't do this, unfortunately, we don't show up. Does that make sense?
I think so, but if you search powered parachute Utah, you'll probably come up with mine.
Yeah, you might, because there's not probably many people like yourself, right?
But if they don't know the name, if they're just looking for that type
Yes,
of a business,
Right.
then you.
But in his case, he's right. He's very niche, and so he may show up, number one, because how many power parachute instructors are there in Utah,
3.
right?
So-
Okay. And they're, exactly, and how many are of them are in Eagle Mountain?
Well,
Is that right?
if you know-
One, exactly. So
if I
did
was
you have a
looking for-
comment?
Just that so much is becoming voice search on your phone. I mean, whether it's a new restaurant, whether it's any kind of service, I'm typically finding them by telling my phone, find me this near me. And the location awareness component ends up being critical because it knows where I am, it knows where you are. So when I say, find me a flight instructor near me, if you're the flight instructor near me, you're what's going to show up.
Yeah.
And only Google can really provide that.
Yeah, so that's the second answer. The second answer is the fact that Google is becoming more and more sensitive to where the user who is searching is. So if I'm in Northern California, or even if I'm in Southern Utah, and I'm looking for a power parachute instructor, Google is only going to show me results that are within my ISP, or basically they look at my network address and say, what's near me, right? If you are not listed here, you won't show up there if I'm in Provo or if I'm in Salt Lake City. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's that added benefit. And the third question is credibility. It does help your credibility. Google is definitely a good place to be because it's Google, it's the largest search engine. It's really not going anywhere. But there are dozens to be out there. There's dozens of places to be. And what we always tell people is get on Google, and we'll manage their Google presence. But then from there, it's directories. What directories can you connect yourself to that relate to your business, right? Are there other flight instruction type of directories where people are looking for flight instructions? That's where you need to be. And then you direct them here. So when you go in and you fill out the information, you tell them this is my address. And it builds the value and the credibility of this presence. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
What do you mean by directories?
Okay, so out in the web, and this has gone on for a dozen, maybe 15, 20 years now, people create directories. And all they are is they're a website it's a clearinghouse of lists of listings, just like a phone book, right? Yellow Pages is probably the biggest directory listing out there right now. They call it Local Book. But basically it's just a listing of all the businesses, and then the more complete those listings are, the more valuable they are to Google. So Google looks at your website, and then Google says, how many people are referring back to your website? And those directories are one of those people that's a credible source that says, hey, this really is a legitimate business. They really do provide the service they've talked about, and they have a link in this directory that goes back to their website. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but how do you,
How do you get on them?
yeah, how do you know where
If
they
you
are?
if you just go out and just look for directories for your business, you'll find dozens and dozens of them. If you look at a company called Yext, Yext is a good place to start. Yext provides an automated service where they actually will do everything for you. The problem is if you go with Yext, they own your username and password for all the directories that you're in. So you don't. So Yext is a good idea and a bad idea. It's a good idea because then they'll show you a list of all the directories you're not in, and so then you can just take a screenshot of that and go, okay, these are the directories I need to create a profile in. But using Yext is something that people will do if they just don't want to worry about it and they just want to pay someone else to manage it forever. But if you want to have ownership of these profiles, Yext is not the best place to go.
Spell Yext.
Y-E-X-T.
X-E?
X-T.
X-T,
Yeah.
yes.
Any other questions? Yes?
So if you purchased a business
Uh-huh.
and you want to have people not be associating with the former whatever image of the business, but you want to continue to grow and create
Mhm.
something different, how does that work?
So do both businesses have a profile? Okay. So what you want to do is obviously create a fresh new profile. I'm assuming you're trying to create a new presence, a new image for both companies. Yes? Are you consolidating them at all?
No, I mean, I bought the business, but I just want to, I got a letter from the Better Business Bureau, and they had the old owner's name,
Uh-huh.
and we need you to contact us and update the information. And
Yep.
I'm thinking, well, I'm registered at the state,
Uh-huh.
and she actually wasn't. So it was fascinating to me that the Better Business Bureau wasn't talking to the state. So they knew she was in business, but the state didn't. And
Uh-huh.
I registered with the state, and
Yeah.
they're sending letters to me.
And it's because the state or Better Business Bureau has your address or the business address registered and says, well, this is all we have and this is all we know, so help us out, right? And this goes back, Better Business Bureau is definitely a huge directory, right? They're a directory where people want to be, but they're more of an accreditation. So you want to be accredited with Better Business Bureau and have a good rating and things like that.
Yeah.
But so that's a perfect example where you want to go there with places like that and you want to clean up your image, you want to get new, updated information and get it as accurate and as up-to-date as possible, as thorough as possible with
So
stuff
can
like
they
that.
remove, I think she had one bad review and it was from a dissatisfied advertiser.
Yeah, typically they'll actually let you create a new profile, even though it's the same business, it's a new ownership,
Okay.
right? Great Harvest actually had the same problem in Lehigh because there was people that owned the Great Harvest in Lehigh prior, and then the owners of Provo came in, bought it, but they were still dealing with all the problems that the previous owners had. In fact, even they were in the same building, and people came in and said, "Hey, you owe us this bread and all this stuff." And who holds on to bread that long? But anyways, it was just this big mess, and they had to go through that same process. But if you can do it, it definitely will help in the long run in terms of just credibility, because people do so much research on things like that. And so, it's, and you got to think about your business, right? If you're DJing, I'm not going to go probably look at Better Business Bureau to look up your business and see, what kind of rating you have. I am, however, going to want to see reviews. I want to see, what kind of music did he play? What kind of atmosphere did he create? What kind of environment was it like for the people, was it, and what did it cost, and all those kinds of things, right? So you gotta think about your business and how it relates to your business. Any other questions? Yes?
So like when I search Eagle Mountain restaurants, and I look at the map, how come some are like these bigger dots and some are little?
Good
Like, why
question.
do some-
Where their position is on the map, and that's why, it's because of their position on the map, right? So they have A, B, C, D.
Some are
And
the big and some are just little tiny,
Uh-huh.
you have to zoom in further.
exactly, and part of that is because if they have a site and they have a presence and they have some content and they rank well, they're going to rank as the A, right? So Google looks at that map, and that map listing position is completely controlled by how well they rank organically. So if they're ranking fairly well organically or without paid advertising, then they're going to rank #1 on the maps as well.
That's why it brings in other cities.
Yeah, exactly. Let me show you just a brief example real quick. Oops.
Yeah.
I just randomly searched that.
Let's see if I can show you. Okay. There we go. Okay, so because this is one of our clients. Because Fastest Lab San Antonio ranks #1 organically. So this is your ads.
Yeah.
This is where organic starts. Because they rank organically #1, they're #1 in this position as well, right? You cannot purchase
That area.
spots in this position, right? It's the only area we can't purchase any kind of position. So it always looks at this, and then it represents that here.
I didn't know that, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
I know you talked about, sorry, the social media, like which ones to be on.
Oh, yeah,
I always thought like, where are your clients looking for you?
exactly.
Are they on Facebook? Go to Facebook.
Yeah.
Are they on Pinterest? You better have Pinterest, you know?
Yeah. We look at it when we look at Google Plus, Twitter, and Facebook, we look at kind of a different gamut of every audience, right? So with Google Plus, it's kind of a wild card. You've got a lot of individuals and you've got a lot of businesses. It's becoming more and more business focused than is anything else. It's not a place where people go and just want to see what everyone's updating their status to. It's more of like, what's going on in this business? What is this business doing? It's kind of like LinkedIn is in a way, right? Facebook is all about what is my friend doing, right? What are people that I know doing, and what are people that I know sharing, right? And so if I've got, like someone like our DJ friend, he is definitely going to want to be having a strong Facebook presence because everybody's going to go on after the recent show he did where he posted pictures and said, hey, we just did a show here. Everyone's going to go say, oh yeah, it was awesome, and I was there, and we had so much fun, and we danced like crazy nut jobs and whatever, things like that. And then people are going to want to share those pictures that he took or he has and things like that. Twitter is all about one-on-one engagement. Twitter is about somebody who goes on and says, I had a really cool experience with this company, and then they tag that company, and the company responds and says, hey, thank you so much, here's a promo for a free whatever next time, things like that. And then you get into all the other ones like Pinterest and Tumblr and blogs, and those are just so, they're there, but again, you have to think about your business. If you're a boutique that's making like little fancy things for your daughter or whatever, Pinterest is definitely the place to be because that's where moms are and that's where people are looking for crafty ideas. But it's not where a business necessarily is going to be unless that's their business, right?
Well, and Instagram is really big. For
Yes.
That kind of things. I think Instagram would be perfect for this gentleman here with the parachuting things because people are taking pictures, they're going to hashtag this adventure, and the pictures
Yes.
with the comments are huge.
Instagram?
Yes. Instagram is definitely would be a cool one because it's all about images, right? It's about these shots I took while I was learning how to, power. Dang, I keep forgetting the name of power parachuting.
Powered parachuting.
Powered parachuting, yeah, powered parachuting.
It's a
Yeah.
type of aircraft.
Yeah.
And I've seen it before. It's incredible. I love what they do. It's so cool. But you're right. You have to think about your business and you have to think about who is your audience. So like for our accountant here, Facebook, probably not going to be the best place for you. Twitter, it's going to have very little application for you. Google Plus definitely, and LinkedIn are going to be valuable for you because they're professionals looking for professional help, right? Professional services. And LinkedIn has thousands of groups, right? And you join different groups there on LinkedIn And that's gonna be really valuable for you, because then people start asking questions and you can answer those, and you become kind of an authority on what people should do as as their business and that sort of thing. But you can, I mean, drive yourself nutty trying to worry about what social media to be on. There's just so much to do. And that's why, like, even just this thing alone will take you, about a week or so just to get set up. And just managing this alone can be a full-time job, let alone all the other elements that come into play. So,
What about Microsoft?
Bing,
Bing?
yes, Bing is a good place to have as well. At least to have a presence, or at least make sure that your information is accurate.
Right?
What's that?
They sort of do the same thing as Google here.
Yeah.
Is they kind of set up your business and they map it and.
The problem with Bing is it's very, very, it's still getting set up, still in its groundwork, right? So it's definitely a good place to be. Again, you have to think about your audience. Bing is now becoming more popular only because it's the only search engine, or it's the primary search engine of Apple iPhones. But from an AdWords standpoint, our clients will spend 90% of their dollars on Google. I mean, I got a client that will spend $10,000 on Google and $1,000 on Bing, just because, not because people aren't, that he doesn't want to spend more on Bing, but it's because he'll put $1,000 and never reach his budget. He'll reach $10,000 on Google in a month easily. And so it just depends on your market and what you're trying to go after. But that's a good point.
Do you have to pay to be on here? But how-
No, sorry. The only reason I'm talking about that is if you want to pay to be up here.
Oh, for those, yes.
Sort of paid advertising, yes. Thank you for clearing that up.
Is there any solution for the, like the home-based business that doesn't want their location, per
Uh-huh.
se? Like for the Crossroads Journal, her home really isn't relevant, but that's where her license is.
But that's okay, because when she creates her business account here on Google+, she indicates that people don't buy services from my location. And there's that, and then you make sure that people are aware that, hey, this is not, and so then Google will adjust it, and they won't show your physical location here, they'll just show a contact number. Does
So-
that make sense?
So where would the not the dot, what would you call it, the marker? Can you adjust where the marker goes?
The marker, the marker would show up here, but it wouldn't show up on a map.
Okay,
Yeah, it wouldn't show up on a map other than her zip code. So it would
Okay.
show up kind of like her zip code and say, this is the area I serve, right? So you serve, obviously, Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, and Cedar Fort, right? Oh, Fairfield? And Cedar Fort, or?
Yeah.
Okay, all four, okay.
So from a marketing standpoint, there's disadvantages to not putting in an actual physical address?
The more you can complete this,
Yeah,
for Google's sake, the better. If you want to hide information, you can hide anything you want.
right.
But the more you complete it, the better position you will place, because Google, this is so frustrating, but there's so much to it. When you have a Google Place profile, Google actually gives your profile a rank in addition to your own website, right? So if your profile is not ranked high, then again, it's more things that Google can kind of punish you on and say, well, you're not meeting our requirements.
Because I have a home-based business and
Uh-huh.
I have a home office,
Right?
so I could meet clients there if I wanted to, but.
But you don't want people coming knocking on your door and
Oh,
saying,
really?
hey,
Yeah, exactly, so,
but you
if I
service a
work-
specific
if-
area.
right, well, yeah, and so if I were to put it in that way and be willing to take that risk, it would probably still be to my advantage, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Either one, whether you show the address or not, you can control that. Google won't punish you if you don't show it. They'll just punish you for not telling them, right? You have to have a physical address to verify your business.
Well, don't you think most people look at the map actually and see that it's a residential area, so they're less likely to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They
Exactly,
probably won't.
you know.
But if they know you service that area, if you're treated more like this is an area I serve,
Yeah.
then they're going to more likely, then it's going to be less of a challenge.
Yeah, when I see a business when I'm through the search and I see a business on the map, it
Yeah.
gives a lot of credibility to it.
Exactly, it
Yeah.
really does. And again, you notice when we looked up his, what we saw here was not the map, we saw a picture of him, right? So Google tries to take the focus on the individual or the business itself, right?
Was that
So-
because was he on the map, or?
Because he was on the map, but he
But
put
they
his picture
showed
up
that
there, and they showed his
instead.
picture, so it kind of like focuses you on his
Yeah, I like that.
his images instead of the map.
Okay.
I was just wondering, you said they rank it. Is there any way to see what your ranking is? And also, is there any way to optimize your
There is. It takes a lot of work to really go crazy on your page rank of your profile. If Google looks at like the list of things that you rank for in terms of like whether your website and your content of your website and then your profile is definitely one of the lower priorities, but it's there and it's something that they do take into effect. In order to improve your rating, it's make sure your profile is as complete as possible. But then from there, it's posting, it's writing, posting a message once in a while. Like we do it once a week is about all we do. But you can do more than that. It's engaging with other people on Google, all those kinds of things, just like you would on Facebook or anything else. But for a business like yours, it's not going to have as much of an impact as reviews are. Reviews are certainly going to have
I have on my website a blog, and I could put stuff on there, and they would somehow
Yes,
realize
that's
that.
a really good point. And one of the biggest things that people do is when you post something, they'll write a blog, and then they'll just take that same blog and they'll just post it into Google+. And you're more than okay to do that. Google's not going to punish you because you do that. And they're going to look at you as, they're going to look at that if you connect your website with your Google Plus profile, they're going to connect that as the original author. And so it's helpful to you.
Are you using rating and ranking synonymously when you say rating?
No,
Okay.
you mean the reviews, when I'm talking about reviews?
Okay, well, no, you would have mentioned the word rating when you were just referring to
Oh, yes, your page rate, or
Yeah.
like your page rank.
ranking, rating.
Yes, so you have your rank is your website here,
Yeah,
but then your profile has a rank as well.
okay.
Sorry, did I say rating?
You did say rating.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry,
Don't
it's,
say anymore.
I'm probably mixing up with the reviews and the people rating you that way, like
Okay.
this side of things.
Okay. So your ranking can be affected by your rating.
Yes, that's what it is,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Your ranking can be affected by how well you are rated here.
Yeah, okay.
So, and the number of reviews,
So
yes.
for instance, my company has multiple locations, would you set up the thing for each location?
Yes, absolutely. So what you see here, this is Fastest Labs San Antonio, right? So this is their San Antonio location. But if we do the same thing, and we go like this. Let's see. So here we have the same thing. So now we have the Columbus location, and we have their presence, right? They only have 3 reviews, but they have their own unique presence. Every location has to have its own presence. And this is crucial in terms of mapping and making sure that if I'm a user and I'm searching, I find the one closest to me, right? That's the thing we get really excited about, because that's one of the unique things about our method and our system. So, any other questions? Most
Yeah,
important, like I said, oh, go ahead.
Does what you do, I'm not really sure what you do at all, so I'm giving you a chance to toot your own horn, but I mean, can you really improve a business like mine, my sales and marketing?
It depends. What we focus on, our niche and our specialty is service-based businesses. You provide a service. The other thing that we have to look at is how saturated is that market. If we were to build a website for you, the problem is everything we're saying is the same thing DirecTV, Dish Network, and all of your other providers are going to be saying. So then we're kind of competing with them. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So for you, your benefit and your biggest benefit is going to be somebody who specializes in social media, because you have got to get somebody who can connect with people individually. Not,
Yes.
it's good to have a website, but you need individual connection, and then like those directories we talked about.
Right,
Does that make sense?
yes.
Our specialty is with franchises and people who have multiple locations and that provide a service, because that's where we can have the greatest impact. Because what we do is we build your presence, and then we write content like crazy. That's why I said we're looking for 2 additional writers. We have 6 full-time writers right now, and that's all they do is just write content all day long. And we try to write relevant, credible, and sometimes witty comments. Or content just depends on the client. Yes?
Facebook has this thing where they want you to like things, and
I'm so glad you brought this up.
I heard a radio talk show one time where the guy said, if you, every time you like something, it tells the web or tells Facebook or Zuckerberg or whoever it is more about you than you may want him to know. And so I've just gotten in the habit of not liking anything. I mean, it's not that I dislike anything, but I never click on like, just because I heard that.
Uh-huh.
What is there any validity to that comment? And is liking something like giving a review here?
So first question, does it actually have, or does what you're talking about actually give Mark Zuckerberg an insight to my...
But I also have a Facebook page, then I want people to like me,
Yeah.
okay? But if there are people out there like me, they don't want to like anybody. They don't want to share the kind of thing that they like.
Right.
Just because they don't want,
Yes, no, and I understand. There, in answer to your question about the idea of what is communicated to Facebook, obviously there's all kinds of conversations that go on there about what really they get and what data they have, and unfortunately I think a lot of us have kind of thrown our hands in the air to a lot of that and says, I don't care, I'll like anything, right? And pin and post and share anything in the world, but we probably should be a little more cautious. But I don't know the answer to that. The answer to your question about whether the likes help you, 40 years ago, definitely, they made a huge difference because there was not 100 ways for you to get 1,000 likes. I can go out tonight, I can spend $5 and have 1,000 likes on my page. Spend $5 more, get another 1,000, right? They're not worth anything anymore. It's nice from a credibility standpoint to say, hey, look, they've got some likes. They've got 1,000 likes. There must be somebody who actually has some business or people actually have talked to them. What people are going to look at is reviews. They're going to look at what's going on your page. That's the kind of stuff that's going to make a difference.
What do you mean you can spend $5 and get 1,000 likes? So
Have you ever heard of Fiverr.com?
There's companies who pay the
Fiverr.com.
money, they go out and they.
You spend $5 and they got people from all the different parts of the world that'll come in, like your page, and all of a sudden you've got 1,000 likes. And so it's like, so where's the value, right? Where's the value in that, in saying, well, I have 10,000 likes. Yeah, do you know any of them? No, you know, and that's the problem with it. Because people are trying to do the same thing. They're just trying to get like, hey, look at all these likes I have.
Okay, well, you know that the likes don't necessarily have the value that some people think they do or that they used to.
Yeah.
But as far as the search engine goes and stuff like that, are those?
Doesn't
likes
care.
valuable?
Search engine does not look at that at all. Google doesn't even look at Facebook, obviously, because they're connected. Bing and Facebook are the ones that are connected to each other more. But even then, Bing does not use likes as a relevancy characteristic because it's become such a anybody can get them sort of thing. And people do contests. You know, you probably have all seen contests on Facebook of go like our page, then you can participate in this contest, and all things like that. And so it just becomes less and less in value. Facebook's trying to fight it. They're trying to punish people who do contests like that and things like that. But it's probably going to take years before they rebound to something different. But
I heard it, is it true, like, people that reshare the post, you're ranked higher in, like, the news feed? If
yes.
people are resharing.
If you're talking like Facebook news feeds, absolutely. Resharing does make a big difference.
Just like.
Yeah, and resharing is a little bit more because then you're putting your name on it and saying, hey everybody, I think this is cool. And so, then you have to think a little bit about it before you share.
So what is resharing as opposed to sharing?
Well, sorry, just sharing. Or
Oh,
something,
just
if somebody
sharing.
shares something and you share it as well,
Right.
you're just kind of resharing. Now, and they've just kind of adopted the because we reshare, we retweet, we repost, those kinds of things. Oh, this language must just be so ridiculous to some people, It's just like,
Well, I'm with this gentleman, I'm really, really stingy with likes because every time I like something, I know that it's gonna go out to all my friends.
uh-huh,
And, they might not give a crap about it. So-
yeah.
Or you don't want them to know that you liked it.
Well, and then you get on the political platform,
yeah,
right?
try liking Obama sometimes.
There you go. There it is. I was waiting for that one. There it is. Yeah. So those kinds of things, right? And I still have to harp on my parents all the time. Like, don't do that. Don't touch that. Just leave it because everybody sees that. And yeah. Anyways.
Well, then they tailor the ads to what you're liking and what you're
Yes.
viewing.
Yeah. Yes. Because if you do like things, to your point, Facebook does know you like that. So with their ads and stuff, they probably use that to say, hey, you like this, so you might like this. And so Facebook does, but Google and Bing, they don't. They don't pay attention to that stuff.
Facebook takes it even further, and he said that you
Yeah,
search.
that's what
On
she's
your
gonna
That's
say.
right.
Shopping center.
Yeah.
Show up
True.
in the ads.
Uh-huh.
If you look at an article,
Yeah.
in that same
Shows
place,
up.
where-
Well, and
publishes
Google
that
has a
article.
service called retargeting advertising.
It's like,
Retargeting is where, and this is really creepy, but let's say you search for drug testing like I did, right? I search for drug testing, I go to a website, and I look at it a little bit, and then I leave. If that website's paying for retargeting services, they've just attached a cookie to my browser, and now anywhere I go, I'm going to see an ad for drug testing in Columbus, all over the place, right? And it's like, and it's following me everywhere I go, and it just keeps showing me everywhere I go. Every time there's a Google ad, it's going to show me that ad, and it's creepy, you know. But it's just more ways to speak to us from an advertising standpoint.
Is that a part of the AdSense or the?
Yes, so if you're paying for AdSense, or if you're using AdSense, that's the environment where retargeting comes in, right? So if you have an AdSense ad, then that retargeting is going to hit that user and show them exactly what they've been looking at previously, right? So that's how you catch your kids and see, oh, well, I see what you've been looking at recently. Okay, should we talk? You know, those kinds of things. It reminds me a lot of an old movie called Minority Report.
Oh, yeah.
They where they scan the eyes and then they show them an advertisement based on him because they know him so well, and it's like everywhere, and they talk to him. You're like, okay, how you doing? And start introducing different services to him. That is creepy, but it's exactly what we're doing here. So, but again, we're going back to the most basic. Just get your places, claim your places, because that will have a huge impact. Lamont, I've probably taken way too much time.
No, you're good, I think. And then, I think we need to have another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe he pulls up to that.
Okay. Any other questions or anything else?
What's your opinion about pay-per-click advertising?
Very valuable. It can be very valuable to try to figure out where your market's at. So when we take on a new client, the first thing we do is create a pay-per-click advertising campaign, and we do some measurements to see what is it that people are searching for and what's working and what are people looking for in order for us to start getting them on the organic position. So it's valuable up front. It's definitely not a good long-term plan because it's expensive, and if it's not returning the ROI for you, it can be frustrating. But it requires a lot of continual massaging. Every single campaign that we have, we massage on a daily basis. We take words out, we put words in, we adjust, we tweak, we make changes all the time because you have to adjust to what the consumer is searching for. That's another like creepy thing, right? Where we track people and what they do throughout our website and what pages we go to and all that kind of stuff. But it can be very valuable in a short term.
So you got the ones down there that are on the map.
Yep.
How did those ones above it get on there? Because they don't say ad buying.
These three,
Yeah.
this is the organic position. So this is number one organically, and then these are the third position on the paid. So organically, they're going to show up, the top three usually show up along with the, right before the top three of the maps. A lot of this is probably just because of Lamont's browser. Usually this sits over here, but if it's not, it'll usually be under the top three positions here. So to get here, what you want to do is write lots of credible, relevant content that relates to your business. That makes sense? And that's a whole other SEO conversation that can...
When you say credible, relevant information, write it where?
On your website.
On the website?
Yeah.
It's a lot of pages you can do it.
Uh-huh. This site has over 250. We have one site that's over 5,000. So we get really crazy with our content because
And are all those gone through their menu, or are you only just show certain?
no, not like, I mean, you wouldn't go to the menu and just be like, right? The menu usually goes like 2 levels deep.
Yeah.
But then as they keep browsing, they can find more.
Wow.
And the other thing too is that we created a method where, and this is the example is for a client that does enclosures for iPads, and they have every single enclosure has its own content, right? And so with all the enclosures and then all the enclosures, different variances and things like that, it turns into this huge, massive. And for these, the nice thing is though is we write the content once, and it works for all 75 locations. So we don't have to, because we have some very unique variables that handle localizing and optimizing that way. But so credible content.
Great, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Can you give your name and number, because I know some of you might be interested in that job offering.
Oh, okay.
if the whole internet knows that you write with your left hand?
Oh,
No, I've kept that a secret for long enough. And hopefully, well, Mark Zuckerberg might know, but
yeah, after doing it for an hour, you say, that's a secret, it's not really.
So is this company that you work with, Colby's at your company?
yes.
You started it out here in Eagle Mountain?
We started it actually in Saratoga Springs, and then we were behind Smith's for a couple years, and then the landlord kind of like gave us a boot because some school came in, and we're like, oh, we want a building, okay, that's cool. So we had to leave, so we went to Pleasant Grove, but we wanted to get back out here because all of us, apart from like one, maybe two of us, are actually live out here. Like one of our guys lives just down the street, about a block, and then the other 5 or 6 of us live in Saratoga and Eagle Mountain. And so we're like, why are we just driving together, you know, waving at each other on our way to Pleasant Grove when we could all be here? So, yeah. Does that make sense? Just see at night through?
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you. You guys have been great. It's been awesome.
Great. Thank you, Colby.